Hello. So today I had my second astrology reading in my life. I wanted to say in this month, but it's in my life because it never really called to me before. And astrology has really came into just my world this May, and it was through the Venus Codes Masterclass by Oath Oracle, and I was so fascinated because I saw how literal it showed up. With the Venus Codes, it's about our wealth magnetism and also how we attract money and opportunities and abundance with the most ease. And there was this random month in 2022 whereby my salary quadrupled, and I had no idea how on earth that happened and what I did right that month, because it to me it just seemed so random. I was just living my life, but when I looked at my chart, I was activating all of the rituals that were feeding both my Venus and also my Jupiter placements. And when I found out about that, I got so excited. I reached out to all my friends and I asked to read their charts so that I could offer them rituals to be abundant too. And it brought me so much joy, just being able to share this secret to the secret into our inner universe with people, with friends. So there's that, and it's fun, like just recognizing when I'm doing things so literally. So for me, my Venus is in Pisces and in the 11th house, so it's like to do with my feet and also my calves, my circulatory system, my ankles. And then my Jupiter placements were in my heart, because it's in Leo, so heart, upper spine, upper back, chest area, and also it's either like in 4th house or 3rd house, depending on which house system I use. But if I'm looking at the 3rd house in Gemini, I was working my arms a lot and also breath work every day. So yeah, I was walking every day, so that for like 2 hours. So that was working my feet, my calves, and my circulatory system. I was going to the gym every day. I was practicing. I had a private yoga instructor at that time, so she was crazy about back bends. So that really inspired me. And previously not being a fan of like back bends, like whenever I would do yoga, it was always going to be yin yoga and like very restorative and not at all activating. But for whatever reason, in that season of my life, I was like, okay, I'm fine with the asana focused yoga, and also like to maybe turn up the heat a little. So it was back then every day. And so I was working my heart. I was opening my heart daily, my shoulders, my arms. I was doing breath work daily. I was meditating daily, and that the meditation fed the Pisces Venus as well. So I was checking all of the boxes, and just magically my income just times 4. And I was very curious about how I could keep recreating that every month and just being that conduit for abundance to just flow through. And so that was what really got me so excited about astrology. But then the more I learned about it and invested in properly learning it, what I'm realizing is that astrology gives such a huge permission slip to us to be us, to us to be ourselves, and recognizing that every single planet that wherever its sign and its placement is in, it's intentional. It's not for nothing, but it's really curated so strategically for our own personal path of our becoming, of who we are. And recognizing that, oh my gosh, where my sun is, my radiant light, and my unique gifts an expression, where my moon is, which is my self-care codes and my childhood experiences, my relationship with my parents. Mercury, it's like how I speak and also how I learn. Venus, what I value, and the magnetism, the attraction of lovers, of love, of wealth, of opportunities, of beauty. And also Mars and Venus going in tandem, because like Venus states what she wants and she attracts it, and Mars goes out into the world, penetrates the world, and brings home to his queen like what it is that she is asking for. So there's that. And then there's also Jupiter. I think of Jupiter as like this loving guardian angel, grandfather like figure, who just has our back, and kind of like wherever Jupiter is, we are just more confident, we have more faith, more optimism, and also we have luck, abundance, opportunities in these areas, and also an expansion. And then there's also Saturn, which is growing to be one of my favorite planets, because Saturn is all about structure, responsibility, accountability, strategy, achieving. And without Saturn, it's like our work wouldn't even be birthed. It wouldn't withstand the test of time. It would collapse, like a building that has no strategy in its architecture and in its planning. So I have so much reverence for Saturn. And then also the transpersonal planets of Neptune, like the soft dream that we hold in our heart, of our spirituality and our ability to connect with Source, our unique spiritual relationship with ourselves and with the universe, with Source. And then there's also Uranus, which is how we rebel, our USP, what makes us really unique, and how we create in a way that honors the very truthful essence of us. And also Pluto, which is generational, like what our soul chose to come and work through as a generation. And also the big themes of death and rebirth and transformation in our lifetime. So what I'm realizing is that with all of these planets and their placements, it really supports us in walking the path of our destiny. And that to me is our north and south nodes. And when I perceive it this way, I am able to have so much appreciation for how I do things. Whereby in the past, with my Mars in Gemini, it's like I love variety, and I was often judged by my parents for like not having one single interest and following through, but it's like doing many things at the same time, and not necessarily being the top of what I'm doing, but like average. But to me, it didn't matter, because I had so much joy in the variety, and variety gives me an excitement. So when I learned that, it allows me to have such unconditional acceptance of myself. And also, like having a big placement in Leo, it's about wanting to be seen and wanting to be loved and to be validated, and recognizing that it really helped with not being so mean and judgmental to myself whenever I realized that, oh gosh, I want to be loved, but honoring that need, and then giving it to myself, or asking for it where I know that there is love that can be poured through, asking for affirmation, asking for validation without feeling shame about it, and surrounding myself whereby I do feel safe, safe to be seen and safe to be loved. So I feel like this chart really is such a huge means of empowering us to live life the most authentically that we can, and also recognizing that if something doesn't resonate, to just leave it aside. But whatever it is that when we see it lights up something in us, there is truth there. There is a reflection going on there. So yeah, it's a huge permission slip to allow us to just be ourselves. And that this has been, I think, I feel like it's one of the most pivotal seasons of my life, this thing with astrology coming in out of the blue, really, like random asteroid just landing in my world, in my universe, and I have so much gratitude for it.